Hi, colleagues. My name is Claudia Abar, and I'm a kindergarten teacher in District 4. I'm also your virtual content specialist for kindergarten math. Now, when we did last week on week 34, we asked your students to create a shape using 5 or 6 pattern blocks and send you the outline. And go ahead and raise your hand if all of your students sent it. I can't quite raise my hand. A lot of my students simply do not know how to do this. So it falls on the parents to usually send me the work. And a lot of them do send it, they just send it in late. So if you need the work from one session to the other, what are you to do? You get stuck, like I often have. So let me go ahead and share the lesson so you know what we're talking about. On day 10 of Teach Hub lessons, Unit 6, which is part 2 of lesson 5. So it's Unit 6, lesson 5, part 2. The launch says, look through the creations that your students share with you from the previous day's lesson. Select a few as assignments for your students to fill and share the codes with the class. This didn't quite happen. So then what do? We have an option here. We've made a pre-made activity here on the Pattern Shapes app, which when you open, it will look like this. Now, the way that I like to use this with my class, and one of the suggestions that we will make, is that you show them different ways of filling this in and asking them what other shapes are going to fit in here. So for example, with this shape, I went ahead and started filling them in like this. I use rhombus and triangles only. And then I also show them this using less shapes. Now your students might want to tell you which one fits in here. A trapezoid will fit in here. Triangles will fit in here. Same thing here. This is a way to get them engaged and to get them to participate. Now, if your students are anything like mine, sometimes the parents just simply don't send the codes until a couple of days later. So this button that I click down here, this little boy on a sailboat or little girl on a sailboat, it gives you a bunch of outlines to fill in. And you can use these as you launch your session. These are some of the options. And obviously you can go with a triangle and fill in the triangle, which is a lot easier for some of them. They're big page, so they take up the whole page. Let me show you that. And you can start using this and creating this. And you might tell them, I want you to fill this in using only 3 different shapes. Or you might just give them free range. What I like to do with my students is I like to use a really difficult shape like this rocket ship here. And I will tell them, I want you to fill it in halfway as part of your assignment and then send that back to me. It's easier for me to get that code because some of the work is already done. So once I send this out to my students, I will show them this. One student filled it out like this. Now, do you notice anything different? Yes, all the rhombuses are the same color. There's a really cool way of changing the color, which is when you highlight the shape and you come down here to the ink blot and you can make it any color you want. So my student felt like using the same color made sense because they're all rhombuses. Another way is to do this, to just use less shapes. Now, I would love to see how they finish this out. We haven't quite gotten to that. But this is another technique that you can use when your families don't share in the codes that you want them to. Now, we don't want you as a teacher to have to create a lot of different shapes and a lot of different outlines for your children to fill in. So sometimes we do use what's already pre-made. And this is a great example of using that because it gets your children to be engaged and to fill in a shape that you know ultimately they can fill. Thank you for watching, colleagues. We hope this little video was helpful. Have a good one.